A short while ago, I made a video about a very rare Beach Boys 45 that I had found, a copy of Surfin, which is their first single before they signed with Capitol. I'll put a link up here if you didn't see that video. But one of the things that I really was pleasantly surprised about that video was a lot of people left comments and thanked me for playing that record on YouTube so that they could enjoy that song because they said, well, I would not get to hear that song otherwise. And I got so many comments about that that I thought, well, I wonder if people might like to hear one other very, very rare Beach Boys 45 that I happen to own that might even be rarer than that copy of Surfin', though it's probably less in demand. So, Mike Love of the Beach Boys has a side project with Dean Torrence of the band Jan and Dean. And so they were hired, approached, recruited in the 80s by Budweiser to make a jingle to kind of advertise Budweiser beer. And in order to do this, they used the music of an established Beach Boys song, Be True to Your School, which I'm sure you've all heard. It's a very popular, very famous song. Well, these clowns, who can apparently shill for anything, re recorded Be True to Your School with new lyrics as Be True to Your Bud. And no, it's not about pot, it is about beer. And this was released not even in stores. This was a promo only 45. It was sent, I guess, to radio stations, or I don't even know how you got this back in the days. This is super, super rare. I looked on Discogs, and 6 people, including me, will admit to owning this piece of crap. It's really terrible. There was one copy that sold on Discogs in 2020 for $35. And there's one copy that sold on eBay in the past year for $100. And I can't find any other copies of this for sale anywhere that have sold, that did sell, that were listed for sale. So it's a stupid rare record. And remember, stupid. That's really the optimum word here. But if you really want to hear Mike Love of the Beach Boys and Dean from Jan and Dean kind of do the whole Weird Al thing to one of the established Beach Boys songs, I got you covered. I'll play this. But let's take a look at this record, just because again it is so unusual, it is so uncommon. Maybe you want to take a look here. So the record label, so to speak, is just Budweiser. There's no label; it's just Budweiser. Mike and Dean, and you see the song here, the Budweiser Fight Song, it's called, aka Be True to Your Bud. And you see Brian Wilson retains the the songwriting credit because he was the credited writer on Be True to Your School. Now, in the 80s, I think it was the 80s, maybe it was the 90s, Mike Love successfully sued his cousin Brian Wilson to get retroactive credit, songwriting credit on a bunch of the Beach Boys songs. I think Be True to Your School was one of them. I have to look it up, but I think so. So this probably predates that lawsuit. I can't find a date or a year for this anywhere. But after you hear this song, I know you're going to want to sing and dance because it's so infectious. Unfortunately, on the flip side, they offer the instrumental version of the song. And it's not truly instrumental because it does have the backing vocals. It just doesn't have the lead vocal. So I'll play both sides if YouTube doesn't block it. And after you hear the song once, I know you're just going to want to crank up the volume and sing it out loud, because why wouldn't you? Oh, right, because this is horrible. That's why you wouldn't. So anyway, I share this because it's unusual, it's really rare, and people seem to like hearing that other rare record I shared. So enjoy, or much more likely, don't. But here's the song.
When some loud bragger tries to put me down and says his beer is great, I tell him right away, now what's the matter, buddy? Ain't you tasted my beer? It's #1 in the state, probably the world. So be true to your bud, just like you would to your girl or guy. Be true to your bud now, let your colors fly. The king of the beers is what the gang all cheers. team's gonna win. We're gonna rout 'em, and the only way to party is to drink the right brew. That's why Budweiser's in. That's why we're shouting, just like you would to your girl.